transfer day, just because I was like so excited for it. And when I got there, I ended up meeting some really cool people from a lot of different places, and I ended up taking a lot of my classes with them too, and I'm still in touch with them today. So
definitely my first all-nighter in Moffett Library. I just remember coming out the next morning after spending a good chunk of time studying, but also just talking to friends and eating food and taking regular coffee breaks to FSM, coming out in the morning and feeling a bit like a zombie and seeing daylight. I think it was a pretty surreal but also pretty rewarding experience. That's not something that I condone. Please take care of your sleep and your own stability first and foremost, students. But I think that's a memory that I'm definitely going to carry forward.
Definitely the first football game I covered on the road, going to BYU with the Cal football team, and seeing them get a win, covering the game on deadline, and flying back at 3 a.m. was just a wonderful experience in full, and something that I'll never forget.
One of my favorite memories from Berkeley was having the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. with about 10 other students from Cal to lobby in Congress on behalf of UC student interests. That was an incredible learning experience for me because it taught me that we have to be fierce advocates for our communities. We have to make our voices heard. We have to press our elected officials to, in the case of the East Bay, reflect the diversity of student backgrounds, needs, and constituents in our community. That's the only way that our democracy can be healthy, and that's the only way that those that we care about can get the resources they need to be as successful and achieve as many opportunities as possible to them.
So my favorite memory at Berkeley was probably eating at the Thai Noodle restaurant. Not necessarily Thai Noodle 2, in fact not Thai Noodle 2 at all, but the original Thai Noodle that many of folk don't know about down on Shattuck. Much better than Thai Noodle 2. Just great times there all around. Probably would have to give my favorite memory to that place.
There was this one time in my freshman year where I had slept in really, really late on a Saturday. I had slept in maybe until 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., something like that. And I just really wanted to eat brunch. I had a very long Friday, thought I deserved to sleep in, so I did, but then I was like, man, I'm hungry. So I went downstairs. I lived in Unit 1 at the time, so I was just going across the street to Crossroads, and while I'm crossing the street, I noticed Oski on the other side of the street. Turns out there was a lacrosse game at the Underhill field, so naturally, my student brain shut off and my Golden Bear brain turned on, and I just ran across the street and got a selfie with Oski in my pajamas because I was very excited to see him.
Going on my first camping trip, I went to Mount Tam with one of my best friends who actually met in my major. The two of us just packed up and went, and it was probably one of the best experiences of my life and definitely sparked a love of the outdoors that I will always have.
So Courtney and I work really late nights in the office, and because we live close by, we often walk home together. And just throughout 2 semesters of being editors together, we have just accumulated so many memories along these walks.
Our normal route includes passing by restaurants that we've tried or taking detours to Target or Happy Lemon. It's really fun because after a long day of working, we could unwind and just enjoy each other's company. And it's moments like these that were kind of mindless, but they were really calming as a result.
What I'm really going to miss about Berkeley is really just the everyday essence of life around the campus. So that could be something as small as in your spare time grabbing a cup of coffee with a friend at Cafe Strada, or browsing through books at Moe's bookstore or in Morrison Library, or checking out one of the hundreds of free lectures that Berkeley has around campus. I remember going to one from climate activists who were fighting for environmental justice, to hearing from the ambassador of Finland to the US, or the former EU Commission president, or even Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who came to the Berkeley Law School and whose commentary I will never forget.
Probably just being so close to my friends, having my friends just at a moment's notice go home, I'm with my best friends. Go across campus, I'm at my other best friend's house, and just doing, board game nights, watching new shows, movies, just the social aspect and expanding my mind in so many different ways by meeting so many different kinds of people is just an irreplaceable experience that I will always cherish.
Probably just Berkeley campus is really beautiful, and I think it's really one of the best campuses on earth. And I think one of my favorite things about the campus is how close it is to Thai Noodle.
I'll miss a lot of things about the Daily Cal, but I think the biggest thing by far is the people and just the camaraderie that we had in the office. I met so many amazing people during my time at the Daily Cal. I met my girlfriend, my best friend, so many wonderful leaders in their own right. And some of these friends that I met will be lifelong friends. So moving on to bigger and better things is tough, but I'm extremely grateful for the people I met, and I look forward to seeing what they accomplish in the near future without us.
I think in the last couple of years especially, just as a Daily Cal writer and as a college student in general, I remember building a lot of memories and a lot of friendships and solidifying a lot of friendships at this little cafe called Brewed Awakening on north side of campus. It's on Euclid Avenue. And I remember going there probably every day, multiple times a week at least, for the last 2 years. Every single time I was in the office, I would find a reason to take a break and take someone to Brewed with me. And I think that grabbing Brewed, walking across campus, and not really appreciating how beautiful campus is, even as it can be quite chaotic every once in a while, I think that's something that I'm going to regret, but also something that I'm going to miss.
Probably all the different places where you can see really cool sunsets, whether that's on Campanile or at the Big C, or even just, if you live off campus in your apartment, a lot of those, you can see like a really gnarly sunset, and it casts over the Golden Gate Bridge, which is, just a really peaceful moment.
I'm definitely gonna miss all the times that I've gotten to hang out with my friends, especially in like very UC Berkeley specific settings. For example, I had some friends that I'd meet up with on Fridays to eat lunch on Memorial Glade with, and we would call it glunch. That was incredibly fun. I'm definitely gonna miss hanging out with friends in the newsroom at the Daily Cal, just talking about all the current events and all the random stuff that happens at the UC and in the city. And I'm just gonna miss the vibe of being a student, sitting in the student section, sitting in long lectures with my peers, the kind of camaraderie that comes with being a student and hanging out with your friends. That's definitely something that I already miss, and it's gonna be something that I know I'm gonna miss in the future.